but the fact that they keep, believing in me and, watching the tape and saying, wow, like we want you to be here for some more years or some more time. That means more to me, way more.
Let's listen. Let's listen.
Watching the tape and saying, wow, like, we want you to be here for some more years. I only wanted to be a Raider. And I told my agent, I said, I'm either going to be a Raider or I'm going to be playing golf. Like, I don't want to play anywhere else. That's how much this place means to me. And I know I don't get really fired up talking about it or anything like that, but I hope people can hear my heart on that I was dead serious when I meant that. And so, I had 1 year left of my contract. If it was 1 year, it was going to be 1 year, thankfully it'll be 4 more, and, I can, hopefully we can, build on that, and I can finish and just, do what I set out to do, 9 years ago, and that is to win a championship. But that doesn't happen unless, you put a lot of work in, and we have a long way to go before that can happen.
How different, similar to the negotiations go that you thought it would go? Because everyone's like 2 or 3 weeks ago, why isn't it done? Why isn't it done? Like, how did it go? Because you're seeing that from the outside, but you knew what was happening internally.
Yeah, I thought the whole time it was always trending the right direction. For me, everyone looks at like certain numbers and they're going to say, oh, well, they're not going to get the whole picture of how it's structured and how we did things. So that I'm, Tim, my agent, myself, and the team, we made sure, guys like Chandler, guys like Devontae, guys like hopefully Hunter and Foster, and those guys can stay here. The way we structured it, I went through a heartbreak already last time I signed my contract. My best friend left, you know what I mean? And I didn't want that to ever happen again. And so this was an opportunity for me to prove to the team, to the organization, to our fans, that the way we're going to structure this is so that we can keep, everybody together and really, really have real continuity, really have something to build on, And so for me, it was like, how do we do that? Usually in these negotiations, how much money can we get? And then how much can we save, and for this was just different, and so there was a learning curve about it. Like, how do we make that happen to where I feel good and to where the team feels great? Like, man, we can still build a championship team around you. And so that was what was important to us. And hopefully, this contract proves that.
You just said a minute ago, you had 1 year left, and if that was what you were playing on, that's what you were playing on. You were willing to play on the 1 year deal? Because a lot of people from the outside would have said that's crazy for you to put that kind of risk out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, I talked to my agent, like, I said, look, at the end of the day, I want to be a Raider, and I am crazy enough to go out there on 1 year, and especially with the guys that are going to be around me, I said I'll take that chance, and see what happens. But I think for me, I am a little bit different, in the way that I think and the way that I view this business. And I know not a lot of people view it the same way I do. I mean, you see guys wanting to get out and leave places all the time because it's too hard or it's not the right situation and all that kind of stuff. And more power to them. But, there's something about this place where I was just like, I'll do whatever it takes just to be here. And so, for me, if it was 1 year, yeah, I mean, sucks. It's not what the plan was from the team or from me, but I will do it, but they made it clear all along that this was a priority. So I didn't really ever feel like the pressure that was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, how early on in the process did they make that clear to you? Like, did they come in and kind of evaluate things, or like, was it day one, like, hey, you're a guy, we're going to commit at some point?
I don't ever want to talk for somebody else. But I'll say it's very clear to me how they felt about me day one. And, I don't ever want to speak for Dave or speak for Josh. But it was, I knew I was going to be a Raider. I was just hoping that it'd be for longer than what my contract was at that moment.
At this point in your career, you made a lot of money, you put up the numbers, the only box really left to check is those postseason wins.
Yes.
With some of the moves that the team has made this offseason, trading for Devontae, signing out like
yeah.
How confident do you feel about the team's ability to do so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always, me, I'm always confident. I'm always optimistic. I'm always think we're going to be all right, and, but I am excited. I think it's okay to be excited for what we've done. I'm excited where we're going, for, who's locked up and, who hopefully we can get locked up also and things like that. I think we have a special group of guys. I think we do have a special group of guys, but that having a special group of guys doesn't correlate to wins. For me, the question of can I win a playoff game? Like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, yes, just because we had one chance and we lost in the last series of a game to the AFC champions. Yeah, I think we can. And it just shows you how close we were. But with that said, 55% of the teams that make the playoffs the next year don't. So, odds are against us. And I like that kind of thought process better. So I'm going to keep that underdog mentality and kind of that chip on my shoulder mindset. But at the same time, I know what I'm capable of. I know what our team's capable of. And I'm excited to see, obviously we have to earn that spot. I don't know what we were, the 5th seed or something like that. Hopefully we can earn more than that this year. That's always the goal, So with this division, it'll be tough, but we're excited for that challenge.
In terms of wanting to be a Raider, always the no trade clause in the contract, how important was that in comparison maybe with some of the other terms of the deal? Was the agent given a mandate that needs to be included in the deal?
No, I think, Tim and I work together. There's no mandates. We just work together as family. And we together thought that that'd be a great idea. And it was to make Paul stop talking about me.
Speaking of some of the guys you're going to be playing with next year, how's it been throwing with Devontae?
It's been great. It's been so good, man. It's been a couple years since we got to throw together, because when we moved from the Bay, again, we were like almost neighbors. We always joked around because he bought the house just above us. I said, so he could look down on us peasants, but he moved in right by us, and we've always been close, having dinners at each other's houses and things like that. And then when we moved, obviously he's not coming out here. I wasn't going back to the Bay, but I told my brothers that after the first time we threw, they're like, how was it? I was like, honestly, it was like riding a bike. Every ball is right here, and the guy is so freakishly talented. He makes me look better than I actually am. So, it's a blessing to be able to play with him, not only because of the player he is, but he's one of my best friends in the whole world. Like, we've tried to plot and scheme this thing for a long time, but at the end of the day, we both loved our situations. He had a great situation. I had a great situation. And, but we always talked about it. One day we're going to make it happen. And the opportunity came, and, we worked hard, to try and make that happen. And the fact that it's here, it's exciting. We've had success together, but that was at the college level, completely different. But we do have confidence that we can do it at this level too.
With Devontae in the mix, along with Josh and the other pieces of play, what's the collective vision for what kind of offense this could be this season?
Triple option, run heavy. We've gotten into some of that kind of stuff, but right now, everyone wants me to say it's going to be this or this. Like, we have to go earn it. Like, if we don't go work for it, it doesn't matter what I say it's going to be. People can put us, we have the odds to get first in the division, or we have fourth in the division. Like, who the heck cares right now? Like, there's so much work to be done that our only mindset is when we come in tomorrow to make sure we're outworking everybody. And if your best players are the ones leading that charge, Max, Chandler, Devontae, Hunter, Darren, Foster, Colton, if those are the guys that are leading that charge, Denzel, saying we're going to outwork everybody, myself, that's where success stems from. That's where you give yourself a chance. I thought last year's group was special. I was telling my wife this, like, the first 2 days that we've had this week, it feels like a special group, and again, that never correlates to wins. It feels fun to come to work with these guys, because of how hard everyone's working. And, I'm trying to race Devontae on our conditioning test and push him. And of course he strides very easily past me, and I was glad to see that he's getting older, but he can still run. So that's good. So with all that said, when our hardest working people can lead the charge and be that, I think that'll provide what our offense could be. But right now, we've only had 2 days of work. So, I don't know what it can be, but the happiest person in the building should be Josh Jacobs. I know that.
Derek,
When they first came in, there was a theory of what would they do as new guys, kind of rebuild it, or try to win it all. You mentioned that a little. Can you expound on that in terms of they obviously are into win it all now?
Yes.
I'll lose it.
It's exciting because, Coach Bisaccia would always talk to me about, you never want, for some of your players, you never
you expound on that in terms of that they've obviously are into winning all now?
Yes.
All losing.
It's exciting because, Coach Bisaccia would always talk to me about, you never want –
All right, hold on, y'all. Shit buffering.
For
I changed
some of your
settings on
some of your players, you never want to waste years, and for me, my heart was in a place where, I'm 31. The way I feel like I'm 21. I feel great. But when it comes to NFL years, I've played 8. I'm going into my 9th year. Like I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to build. I want to win. And they made it very, very clear to me that we're not coming just to build something. Like, we're going to build something, but we want to win now. Like, think about it. They're coming into a new job, and we went to the playoffs. That's not usually the case. Usually you do have to come in and start over, but there's pieces in place, and their scheme and the way they believe, they thought that these pieces could fit good in that scheme, offense and defense. And so that's exciting. So it wasn't just a complete, haul of players taken out and brought in. So there's continuity there, which I've talked about helps so much. So them showing me that is what means a lot to me, that they want to win now, because that's how our locker room, if we're honest, like, before who's going to be the coach, we're just thinking, I just hope it's like someone that's ready to just take a step forward, instead of, well, this guy, let's get rid of him. Let's trade this for picks and build for the next 3 years. You're like, as older players, you're like, nah, I don't want to do that anymore. I've done that. I've actually lost count how many times we've had to do that. I'm glad that we're just kind of just taking that step forward.
Derek, I think this was your third coaching change that you've been through so far throughout your career. So it's been something that's new to you. It's one important process. But from your experience, what has helped? What some things has helped, kind of for the staff coming in, ingratiating yourself with the roster and translate that to success?
I think the biggest thing, first off, obviously there's X's and O's, and the more football you play, the more you're like, they call this route just a different name, and you're like, okay, that I got it. And if it makes sense in the scheme of how they teach it, then it kind of is easier to pick up on the more football you play. But I think the most important part is the coaches getting to know their players, and the players getting to know their coaches and building that trust. It's something that sounds like coach talk, but it really matters that, when Josh calls a play, I know what he wants done. I always talked about that, like with Gru. Like, when Gru calls a play, I want him to know exactly where the ball is going to go versus every coverage. And building that with Josh as fast as we can. And, he's watched a lot of tape on me, prior to coming here, and now he's here and all this kind of stuff. So he knows how I think. I think he's probably talked to Gru even, about things and all that kind of stuff. So as much you try and fast track that, because, the NFL is like, well, let's go now, whether you're rebuilding or trying to keep taking a step forward, it's like, you got to go now. So building that trust and that communication, just, hey, I don't like that, hey, Derek, I don't like this. I need you to do it like this. Okay, perfect. That's what he expects. Same from me. And I think the faster that each position can build that with their coach, the faster we'll be a better football team going forward.
What kind of mantras have you taken away from the new coaches so far in your early meetings with them? And what has it meant to see about, I heard 98% of the roster came in and showed up for the voluntary phase 1. What did that mean to see that for the team come together for this?
Yeah, it showed. Hopefully it shows, like, even with guys, like with contract stuff, like, hopefully it showed, like, yeah, that's business, but our main objective in our heart is to win. And we know to win, you have to put the work in together. And so our team showed up, and it was really cool to see some of the things that coach, it is very evident we are going to compete, and the only thing that matters is winning. Like, that's it. We're going to compete, and the only thing that matters in that drill is who won the drill. And so to me, that's exciting. That's how you get better as a team, is you put your best against your best, you compete. Everyone has an opportunity to show themselves and try and make this football team from here until cut day, and hopefully you take the best, 53 into the season and make a run, and so for us, we're going to compete as hard as we can, try and win every single drill against each other, and it's going to be hard, to do, but that's the mindset that they're bringing in, is we're going to compete literally at everything that we do. And the only thing that matters at the end of the day is who won that. And we'll coach off of that. And so I'm excited. That's how my mindset's always been. So for them to come in and say the things, I'm writing things down. I'm like as I'm writing it, I'm not just writing it because coach is saying it, but I believe in it, so it's exciting. But again, I just try and temper it because, there's so much we have to learn. There's so much offense and so much defense and special teams in the kicking game we have to learn, that right now it doesn't even matter, what we want to think about in the future unless we take care of business tomorrow.
Eric, you mentioned that you structured your contract in a certain way to help. I'm just kind of wondering if you made sacrifices, and if you did make sacrifices for the team and for the future of this franchise, does it also stem back to your background and just who you are and sacrifices and whatever? And I'm just kind of wondering, and it's kind of a follow up to that, the altar conference. What was your theme of your kind of talk to the people?
Yeah, beholding Jesus. We've tried so hard in every area of life to take the Bible and Christ out of schools, out of a workplace, all this kind of stuff. And for me, I think it's time for us to take a step up and say, well, I think there's a pretty good game plan on how to love each other and how we should be treating each other and how to do business in the right way. And so that was kind of my theme for that, and obviously that's a different thing than what we're talking about now. But for me, the important thing for me, that's my girl, so she's okay. Do whatever you want, honey. But for me, it was important that because of the Khalil situation, like I just didn't want, and we still could have had him, but looking back on it, I'm like, I want to make sure every opportunity is there for all of my guys to get signed. You know what I mean? I want to make sure there's every opportunity. Like, yeah, I mean, I took sacrifices. Everyone just looks at certain numbers and like, why would you do that? What? First of all, get your hand out of my pocket. That's number one. And you take less at your job. You know what I mean? But number two was we did anyway. To make sure that guys like Hunter have an opportunity. Not saying it's going to get done, but have an opportunity to get what they need. Foster, Darren, all these guys. I don't know. I'm just whoever's out there, like whoever needs help, like as long as Tim and I felt good, like the big thing to me was like there were certain things that were important to me, and after that I was like, you know how to structure this, you know how to do this with the team and all that, just keep my guys together, and I thought at the end of it we sat down and I saw it. I even think my cap number went down this year, like I was like, just bring my cap number down. I don't care how we do it. Let's just make it to where at the end of the day, I'm fine. My family's protected in their future, but at the same time, we can protect and take care of my teammates' futures too, And so, we made sure that we could do that.
Well, along those lines, like even if that's how it started out in the negotiations, like during the negotiation process, there were some pretty massive, guaranteed contracts that were signed by other guys.
Yep.
Did that give you pause? Oh, wait a minute. This is what we talked about, but look what's going on.
Yeah, no, still for me, like we got to keep things relative too, like we can, I got 4 kids and, we can go to Target and we're okay. I always say that, but it's like true, like they don't know how good they have it. We're fine. So relatively, I'm happy for everybody. Like I don't care what everybody else gets. I'm worried about my contract. I'm worried about my family and worried about some of the things I have planned in my life, besides football. And as long as I can take care of those things, we're great. I want to help and bless and encourage and, thousands, millions of people, sometimes that takes a little bit of money. So there's some things I want to do there, to help people in other countries, help people in this country. I always said, like, I'm always thankful to God that he trusts me with this kind of stuff because it's going to go to the right places. I try my best. Like I'm wearing stuff that, half of it was free. You know what I mean? We like to, give back. We like to take care of other things. So there's part of that matters to me. Right. And then when other people are getting their stuff, I'm like, man, good for you, but I'm good. Let's make sure my teammates are okay. Because I know that there's some really good people in that locker room that want to do the same thing and take care of some people in their families and their communities. And so that's what is more important to me than seeing other people getting some of the stuff they were getting.
Eric, this AFC West is pretty I mean, you probably talked to a ton of people about it, but look at Wilson now, and he'll be there a while. Now you'll be here a while. Just can you talk about that and the quarterbacks and stuff west?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Pat is great. Justin, he's just starting, man. He's going to be a great player for a long time. Russell's been great. It's exciting to go and compete against these guys, and, we've all had battles. We've all kind of, had shootouts, so to speak, against each other. And, they've won some, we've won some,
What's up, Fear of the Nation?
It's going to be hard. And it's going to come
Thank
down
you for
to who
pulling
does
up.
everything right. Who does all the little things
Listening
right.
to Derek
who's
Carr
closer
press
together,
conference
who's tighter,
live.
of a unit and things like that. Good job, Deacon. But I think for me, the exciting part for me is that you get to compete. Like growing up, like I watch these guys compete against each other in our house, every day, and they're going at it. And that's what you grow up. You want to compete against guys that are at the top of their game. And so for me, it's exciting. For the defensive coordinators, they're probably like, oh my gosh, every week there's no breaks, but I think that that's how it should be.
Darren, with the NFL draft being here in about 2 weeks, what memories come back to you when you think back to your draft in 2014?
That I got passed over a whole bunch of times. I won't forget there was like a little TV crew in there for the first round because there were teams like, oh, if you're there at 20 something, we're taking you and all that kind of stuff. Then it doesn't happen. You're like, yeah, this sucks, But at the end of the day, I'll never forget, like the next day, James Jones texted me, and it was before the draft, and he says, why don't you come on out to Oakland? And sure enough, they were at this 36, I think. Yeah, they were at the 36 pick. And I was just like, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be something? And when that phone started ringing, I was just so happy because I just wanted to, I don't know why, but I just wanted to go there. I was like, I want to be part of fixing that. I want to be part of, helping get them back to the playoffs and, be a winning franchise again and things like that. So, we've proven it in spurts, but I think it's time that we just do it more consistently. And I think when I look back at that, I'm like, we're in the middle of what I dreamed of doing. I wanted to be, someone when all is said and done, that my name would be at the top of a lot of lists on some stat sheets and all this kind of stuff. And then I wanted to hold trophies and all that. Well, we haven't done some of those things yet, but I wanted to leave my mark on this organization, and just to look back now and say I got 4 more years for that opportunity is exciting for me. Because people have trusted me all this time, the people that make decisions, when other teams were calling or this or that, they're like, no chance, this is our guy, throughout the years and things like that. That I look back at those moments and I'm thankful because I have another opportunity to go out and prove it again.
So Devontae was beating you in the sprint. We've seen you guys on the golf course a little bit. Who's winning there?
Me, 100%. We're not even going to front about that. But can I say he is the most improved golf swing since I saw him 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago, it was a little tough. And now he hits this nice little tight draw every single time, which I'm envious of. So I got to pray about that.
The last time we talked to you at the end of last season, you talked about how the focus needed to be staying hungry, not getting your heads high after making the playoffs, which maybe something you didn't see in 2016. How has that kind of manifested itself, and has it gone according to plan that way?
The feeling coming in this year isn't like, oh, we deserve this, or we're going to do this, and we're just going to walk through it. Like the feeling is there's this hunger in everybody that we have done nothing yet. Like, yes, we want to make the playoffs. How we did it was miraculous. We had to win our last 4 to even have that chance, right? And the teams we had to beat to do it was unbelievable. And
That's
all this,
I said that
you
shit.
Feel really good about it, and we did feel good.
It was
about
like
it.
a playoff game. The last 4,
especially with Rich stepping in and taking over, right? And it was cool, but there's a hunger in us that we didn't get what we wanted. The mindset was we're winning this whole thing. That was our mindset, and so there's a hunger there that clearly we didn't do enough work. Clearly someone in this building didn't do enough, and we're all going to take that upon our shoulders and say, I'm going to be the one that does more. And I think that's why I'm excited. Again, it doesn't promise us anything, but what it does promise us is it'll give us a better chance if we do the work, unless we don't. So the mindset is definitely different than what was it, 2017 coming into that season. We added some talent. We were like, oh man, we got this, and clearly we did not. The mindset coming in this time is we need to do a little bit more because it clearly wasn't enough last year.
Derek, who goes golfing by themselves and hits a hole in one?
Oh my gosh, yeah, this guy, right? Yeah, we always laugh because like going to play golf is like a way for me to like not. I can work on something else, and not think about football, especially with the contract stuff. I was like, I don't even want to think about it, because if I just sit at home, that's all I'm going to think about. And so I went out there, and there was this group behind me, and for whatever reason, on hole number 11, they decided to be done, and as I hit, the ball goes in the hole, I'm jumping up and down. I turn around, they're driving away, so they didn't even watch it. There's literally no one to be seen, but you don't have to believe me, but it really did go in the hole. So.
You guys all set? Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate
Can I
it.
ask you one more question real quick?
Yes.
John Gruden talked, and you guys mentioned just how intensive his playbook was and his offense. Is Josh similar? Is his playbook kind of similar? I mean, Gruden's was the Bible. Is his equal to that?
Yeah. Gru was had so much. He had something for everybody. And I thought that was really cool. And so does Josh. He has something for everybody. And it's going to take a lot of work for our guys to learn it. It's going to take a lot of work for us and we've already started that process. But usually with the teams that have the most success, like he has had the last 20 years or so, there's usually a good amount of volume there, but at the same time, he's all about playing fast. And so I'm excited. I really am excited. Obviously it's different. It's different, but the same amount of work is going to be required to get it done. Yep.
Thanks,
Yep. Thank you.
There you have it, Raider Nation. There you have it. We have our quarterback under contract till 2025. Now, all we got to do is go get that damn trophy. How many of you guys in the chat out there watching? I'd like to thank everybody who has pulled up, checking out the Derek Carr presser live and direct from Raiders Allegiance. How many of you guys are excited for this season? How much do you recognize that this team is being constructed to cause some destruction within the NFL? There's going to be so many defenses out there that's just going to be facing a nightmare with this Raiders team. And we're not done. Like I said, we still have the draft. We still have June 1st releases, money coming up on June 2nd to go ahead and sign some more players. Who those players will be, we're going to see. But Carr, he did his damn thing. He didn't go after the whole bag. He left some for his boys to get on this roster so we can be competitive and attempt to go get a Super Bowl. So with that being said, we look at Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. He milked them for every drop of fucking dairy that came out the udder. You know what I mean? But what Carr did is what a great quarterback does. Now, when I say great, it doesn't necessarily have to be specifically his football play. I'm talking about great overall. See, it wasn't a football move to get the bag like Aaron Rodgers did. That's personal. That's off the field. See, they're not on the field. They went and got their money off the field. But Carr, he left some for his boys to get, to keep this team intact, to keep the players that we need to contend in this damn league to get a trophy, a Lombardi trophy. So what I'm saying is, hats off to Derek Carr for not being selfish, for being selfless, and allowing this team to have money to work with underneath the cap to go out there and keep our mainstays as well as picking up other talent to improve this roster. Man, my hat's off to that dude, man. You can hate him, you can love him, but the fact is the man is keeping it 100 and as solid as concrete. You feel me? So I know you guys out there is getting excited. I'm excited. This news, listening to him talk is just like, he gets it. He gets it. And I don't want to do the comparison with him and Tom Brady, but I mean, as far as actions go, to make sure that you have a competitive team, he went that same route. There is a reason why Brady has all those damn rings. We don't like Brady. Fuck Brady. But the fact of the matter is, he has those rings because he refused to be greedy. There it is. Greed. Greed is every man's downfall. This man, Derek Carr, he left that greed. He fucked greed and kept it moving. And now, you know what? I want to see exactly how this contract is structured. I want to see what kind of money does this free up for this year, and possibly how it's constructed. I know it's a 3-year deal, 121 million, I think they said. So he's looking at about 35 million a year. But what I want to see how it was constructed. I'm waiting for the real details of Derek Carr's new extension to come out so I can see exactly where the money lies. What did he do to free? He did his thing. He did this thing, man. Hats off. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. I'm appreciating each and every one of you guys for pulling up for this news conference. Man, very informative. As far as seeing exactly the type of individual that Derek Carr is. Tremendous dude, hell of a human being. Shout out to everybody out there. Dominic 5, thank you for pulling up, man. Appreciate it. Coach Dante, what's up with it, Coach? Thank you for pulling up. Fear of the Nation, thank you for pulling up, my brother, man. For real, for real. Shout out to everybody that's out there, man. We just did the live. We just did the live presser. We listened to it. Man, to be honest with you, I was asleep. You know what I mean? I was asleep when I checked my phone and Carr got the bit. I was like, oh shit, let me get up, and I know they're gonna do a presser, and I seen that they was doing a presser at 11:30. So I got my ass up, didn't even brush my teeth yet. Mike is damn near melting in my face. You know what I mean? So man, I did this shit, man, because it's exciting for all of Raider Nation to take part and see what our team is doing. You know what I mean? I know a lot of times things are under wrap, and I like the way they're handling business. They do not leak out shit. We all find out what happened after it happens. I love it. So you don't get any misinformation about this and that. You'll get the real information once the information is released. Man, shout out to the front office of the Raiders for getting down with the get down. You know what I mean? But yes, y'all, that was the Derek Carr presser. He is a Raider through 2025 with his new extension. He deserved every fucking penny. Shout out to that guy, man. So, with that being said, man, Raiders Allegiance, yours truly, Lunatic Raider. But before I let you guys tiptoe up out of here, you know the formality. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and knock the hell out of that notification bell so you could be notified of all the content I release, even breaking news. I like to thank each and every one of you guys who have pulled up, checked out the presser with Derek Carr. He is a Raider through 2025. No worries. Now, let's add some other players. Is Honey Badger the next one to drop? Is Stephon Gilmore the next one to drop? We shall soon see shortly. Let's go ahead and enjoy you guys' day. Be blessed. May you and your family have a wonderful, wonderful day today. And man, you already know. Raiders! We done it again. We done it again. And I'm out.